Police say 43-year-old Yvonne Hiller had grown angrier on the job over the past 2 years, fighting verbally and at times physically with fellow workers at the Kraft Foods plant, convinced those workers were out to get her.
She believed that they were spraying chemicals at her, that they were saying things about her behind her back, and things of that nature.
Cynthia Verbeff is moving. Her home, she says, has become a house of horrors.
I feel that I've lost my mind, I've lost my life.
Incident reports from law enforcement tell the tale. Numerous break-ins at the address. She's being targeted.
Everything. They just went through everything.
But sheriff's detectives had little to go on because the vandals, though often destructive, stole nothing. Even from her portable safe, drilled into and torn apart, the contents, the jewelry, remained untouched.
I'm proud to announce that January is officially Stalking Awareness Month, and that we're focusing on a crime that affects 3.4 million victims a year. Know it, name it, stop it. That's the national theme, and we echo it in Texas today.
A former Snohomish County Public Works employee was convicted in June of stalking a fellow female employee for nearly a year. Her victim, who asked Cairo 7 not to identify her, told the court Orozco was very calculated and very effective in destroying her career, her personal and family life, so much so that she's had to quit her job of 13 years and move out of the area. She is still fearful of Orozco. Judge Gerald Knight read the letters Orozco sent to the victim's young children to illustrate how evil her tactics were.
Sending letters to them, asking them, how does it feel to be your mother, who is a sick that doesn't have real and who's an alcoholic.
Besides the letters, Christina Orozco set up a website saying defamatory things about her victim and sent false sex offender notifications to neighbors, elected officials, and future employees, making the victim appear she was a convicted sex offender. Orozco's violated a restraining order, and now she's a convicted felon.
While not physically destroying and killing her, you did everything in your power to kill and destroy her name and reputation.
For the people who watch this who don't know about the gang injunction, explain what it is.
Gang injunction is a civil court order that the city pursues against a known criminal enterprise. It's defined, the term gang is used, street gang is the state law, the name of it in state law. It's a law that was passed in the 1980s by the California legislature, was upheld as constitutional by the California Supreme Court in 1997. It is a civil order in the manner of a restraining order. It allows a city attorney or a district attorney to bring an injunction, again like a restraining order, against a group of individuals who have conspired to commit crimes and otherwise terrorize innocent people in a community.
About gang stalking, but it actually has nothing to do with the gangs that you first think of. Central Coast News reporter Candace Wynn learned more about the trend and how it's getting more dangerous because of the internet.
Richard said gang stalking is nothing new, but new technology is making it more common.
Gang stalking itself, they have elevated themselves to technology. So this is something that's been going on before the age of Facebook, Twitter, those other social websites. They just now have gone into those.
If found guilty of gang stalking, a person may face criminal, conspiracy, and stalking charges, all of which are felony charges in California.
There's nothing illegal about these. If you're a parent, you own the car and you want to spy on your teen. But we've uncovered a sinister side to these tracking devices. Stalkers are using them to spy on their exes. They're so small, if someone hid one in the trunk of your car, you'd probably never know it. Did you slip a little something on your girlfriend's gas tank?
No, I ain't got no comment.
The police Meet 20-year-old Raimundo Munoz. Prosecutors just charged the Kansas City man with violation of a protection order after his estranged girlfriend found a GPS tracking device hidden on her gas tank. The young woman says she became suspicious after Munoz threatened her, saying, quote, "Watch what you do because I know if you are lying."
So now you have offenders and abusers placing these items in gifts.
Sergeant Lionel Colon works in KCPD's domestic violence unit and says police across the country are starting to see similar cases. But the laws have been slow to catch up with technology. He says women should trust their instincts.
We're talking about gang stalking, but it actually has nothing to do with the gangs that you first think of. Central Coast News reporter Candace Wynn learned more about the trend and how it's getting more dangerous because of the internet.
He said for the last year and a half, he's been systematically followed by a group of people. At one point, he said they climbed on his roof to harass him.
That's the worst part of it. If it was me, I would take action.
Santa Cruz Police Lieutenant Larry Richards said police are becoming more aware of gang stalking because of cyberbullying.
Gang stalking itself, they have elevated themselves to technology. So this is something that's been going on before the age of Facebook, Twitter, those other social websites. They just now have gone into those.
If found guilty of gang stalking, a person may face criminal, conspiracy, and stalking charges, all of which are felony charges in California.
Antonio have contacted the I-team and described similar types of occurrences.
The urine arsenic is above normal. We shouldn't have arsenic.
Linda Johnson says someone poisoned her water supply with heavy metals in northwest San Antonio. Then there's her story about the bracelet that went missing, then reappeared. Police, she says, have stopped listening to her. And like Verbeth, she too believes she's been sexually assaulted, although she never filed a police report.
I've gone to doctors many times, and I've been to the Rape Crisis Center for counseling, yes.
Many of these so-called victims of what Hall describes as gang stalking meet up on the internet, finding comfort and information from others who say they too suffer from electronic stalking, mind control, and even rape. Loosely defined, gang stalking is where organized groups target and harass unwilling victims to the point of paranoia, leaving the victims to deal with skeptical family members and skeptical law enforcement.
This isn't stalking done by a former spouse or former boyfriend or someone that's disgruntled at you, but stalking that's being done by total strangers in an organized fashion.